My lesson plan is about the history of Chinatown in San Francisco. I chose to create the lesson plan about San Francisco Chinatown because I have the personal connection to Asian American identity and I wanted to highlight the place that often misunderstood. A lot of people see Chinatowns as just tourist attractions with lanterns, food, and souvenirs, but there's so much history and struggle behind them. These spaces were built out of resistance, exclusion, and the need for safety. I think this topic is important for students to learn because it connects to broader themes like immigration, racism, and community resilience. And by learning about Chinatown, students can better understand the challenge many Asian Americans have faced and how they have shaped American cities in meaningful ways. This lesson is designed to help students make personal and historical connections. First, in the roots and walls activity, students think about something from their identity they're proud of. That's their root. And then they identify the walls, which is represent the challenge. This helps them understand the idea of cultural resilience and exclusion, just like what Chinese immigrants faced. And after that, the class gets a short lecture and discussion on real historical events like the Chinese Exclusion Act, anti Asian propaganda, and the rebuilding of Chinatown after 1906 earthquake. These help students understand that Chinatown didn't just happen, it was shaped by laws, racism, and community strength. We're not just talking about the history, we were showing how people resist and rebuild their space. And for this part of the lesson, I wanted students to actively engage with Chinatown's history, not just read about it, but explore real places that hold cultural memory. In groups, uh, they research sites and annotate maps, then present their findings in the gallery walk. I think this helped them understand how space holds stories and resistance. Afterward, we gather in the reflection circle where students connect these ideas to their own lives. Ending with a small treat from Chinatown adds a personal and a cultural touch to wrap up the experience. For example, like the pineapple cake, which is from Taiwan. And here are the six sources I used to design in my lesson plan. I included four academic sources and two multimedia or public access sources to give a balance of deep and accessibility. The academic texts like Chinese American Voice and Chu and Ibarra's articles provide historical context and highlight lived experience and resistance movement. Bonnie Two's American Chinatowns help students understand how Chinatown is not just the historic site, but the living, changing space. I also use the PBS Becoming American series because it makes the history feel more real for students. With video clips and personal stories, the SF Planning Department report is great for student projects because it includes maps and community interviews. And these sources help students engage emotionally and critically with the lesson themes like immigration, resilience, and cultural identity. And in the last part of the lesson, students come together in the discussion circle to respond to the closing questions, which is the what does Chinatown teach us about how communities survive and grow through struggle. I want to give students space to share stories from their own family or reflect on what resilience means to them. This helps them apply what they learn to their personal lives. And personally, I chose this topic because I care deeply about the cultural identity and community strength. I think Chinatown is the powerful example of how a place can be both the scat- statuary and a symbol of resistance. I hope students leave this lesson not just knowing more history, but also thinking about how they can support and protect their own communities today. Thanks for listening.